Hi, my name is Allison Blaustein. In this therapeutic yoga session, you will definitely need a couple of blocks. Or if you don't have blocks, pillows, a couple of pillows. Definitely need a couple of blocks ideally. A couple of pillows would be great. I've got a couple of medium-sized pillows here. If you have a yoga bolster, and I tell you what makes a great yoga bolster is the large cushion from your sofa. If you grab that, I think it would be really nice. A blanket or two would be really nice. If you really want a self-care session, a couple of blankets, a couple of pillows, a big bolster pillow, but at the very least, a couple of blocks. Notice how you're sitting, and if your knees are rising up above your hips, I highly suggest taking a block or two to sit on. Just sit the sit bones, just kind of the back side of your rear onto the pillow or the block so that your knees fall down below your hips. And this is simply a passive way to open up the hips. Now let's check our hands. The hands are so important. They have a disproportionately large connection to our brain. So that's why prayer, touching our heart, it's so important what we do with our hands. Please do whatever you feel guided to do with your hands. But I am gonna say, if we are low on estrogen, we can start to feel very lethargic or even depressed. So if you've been feeling lethargic or depressed, this is opening up to estrogen, opening up to energy. A lack of estrogen is also what can make weight gain around the midsection and even allow our skin to lose elasticity and youthfulness. So this hand mudra is bringing in estrogen and energy. However, sometimes when our hormones fluctuate, especially when we lose progesterone, we can become anxious. If you're feeling anxious, I don't recommend this one. I recommend downward palms. So find whatever hand position feels right for you. And then let's look at our breath. Notice where you feel the breath in your body. And hopefully you're feeling the inhale expand the body. Expanding the midsection on the inhale. And shrinking the torso on the exhalation. And that's really all you have to do for your diaphragmatic breath. Now, if you happen to have issues with hot flashes, focusing in on the inhale and sipping that cool inhale in through pursed lips can help. Another way to utilize the breath is with the lips closed and bringing your attention to the space between the opening of the nostril and the upper lip, the space between the nose and the lip, and feel the breath on the space right there above your lip. If you tend to get hot flashes, or let's call them power surges. We're going to call them power surges. If you tend to get power surges and you want to cool those down just a little bit, focus on how cool it feels above the upper lip when you inhale. Let's switch our positioning of our legs. If you tend to have anxiety, then let's focus on the exhale. and feeling the warmth and groundedness of the exhale above the upper lip. To counteract the effects of hormones that are bringing on a rise in anxiety, you might notice that everything is a downward energy. So if we want to feel more relaxed, more warm, or more grounded, everything is downward. The palms are downward. We're focusing on the downward groundedness and heaviness of the body, and focusing on that warm downward flow of the exhalation. If because of hormonal changes we're feeling depressed, lethargic, we want everything to focus on the upward motion of the hands, the sipping in of the air, or the coolness of the inhale on the upper lip, and a lengthening and opening of the body. So keep that in mind as we proceed with the practice. We're going to use pandiculation, which is just a little bit different than stretching, connecting the brain and the nervous system with the movement. So let's start with one shoulder. And we're just going to very slowly tighten up one of the shoulders, creating a contraction. And then on your next exhale, how slow can you lower it down? And you can breathe through this lowering down, and then completely relax, completely let go, with a breath in which the inhale expands the torso and the exhale shrinks the torso. So on an inhale, very slowly contract that shoulder up, and exhale, release it down. And then completely let go. And let that complete relaxation and letting go integrate into your brain and nervous system. One more time. We're going to bring it up on an inhale, bring up a gentle tightening and contraction. And then on the exhale, so slow, let it go. And then completely relax as you breathe, integrating this neutral, relaxed position. Other side, we're going to inhale the shoulder up, nice and slow. Really feel the contraction happening. And then on the exhale, extremely slow, letting go. And then we'll breathe here and let that integrate. Shoulder up, nice and slow. Really feel the contraction happening. And then on the exhale, extremely slow, letting go. And then we'll breathe here and let that integrate. Noticing how that feels. On your next inhale, bring it up. Notice the contraction, the tightening. And then slowly, in little increments, exhale and let it go. And then completely relax and let go, and notice what that feels like. Let's bring both shoulders up and tighten, and then slowly lengthen, and then integrate that neutral, relaxed position. We're going to come to cat-cow, but this will be a little different cat-cow. We're going to just move the pelvic area. So just for pandiculating or just moving the pelvic, we're just focusing on the pelvic. You might say, well, the rest of my body tends to move. I can't just move the pelvic area. And that's right, because we are a whole body system. Everything's connected. But we're just focusing on the pelvic area as if we could just tilt the pelvic area one way and then the other. And then you can slowly let the rest of your body join in, but very mindfully, just noticing that everything really is connected. You can start to enlarge your movements, and you can even get creative with your movements, moving around, really being present with what you're moving around here. And then this is where you might want that big sofa cushion or the bolster, pillows or blankets. I recommend a nice big bolster or a sofa cushion. As we go into a pigeon pose or a hip release, if this doesn't feel right for you in prone position, you can certainly lie on your back in supine and find sensation in your hips in a way that is safe for you. I'm gonna do this on my bolster. I'm gonna move the bolster out of the way for you. So you're on all fours and bringing, this is my right knee, I'm bringing my right knee up to my right thumb, and I'm gonna move the right foot over to the left as is comfortable. I'm gonna have my bolster here ready to lie my torso on it, and also maybe a little blanket or pillow ready in case my hip needs that. The next thing that's important is take your time walking the left leg back. The more you walk that long left leg back, the more your right glute is able to ground. If your right glute doesn't ground, please bring the earth up to meet your glute. You want it to ground and relax. And here's where I like a really nice big prop, and it can be anything that you find, and completely relax and let go. And let's hold this for a while. If you have had any issues in your low back or your sacral or SI joints, you can keep this very balanced by gently moving your right hip back and your left hip forward. Just very gently, just to square those hips. And then let's check and make sure we're completely letting go. Relaxing in the head, face, jaw, neck, shoulders, relaxing throughout the spine, chest, and stomach. Relaxing in the hips and the legs and the feet. We already released in the shoulders where we tend to hold current stress. Now we're releasing in the hip area, which tends to hold on to old ideas, older stress, older traumas. And the beautiful thing is we don't think about it or focus on it mentally. Rather, we come into the body, feel sensation in the body. All you have to do is just breathe. Relax your body, step back and observe, and allow yourself to be, accept whatever comes up, accept yourself. And the body, this integrated system, naturally knows how to release and let go of whatever it is that is needed to let go or to be transformed. One more exhale, and the arms push us up. Curl the back toes under, and let's bring our knees together. And you've got your large props for the center of your body. You've got a little blanket or pillow for that hip. And we're gonna go do the other side. So we're gonna bring the left knee up to the left thumb. Move the left foot over to the right just a bit. And then we're gonna walk that back leg, back, back, back. And the more you walk it back, the more your left hip's gonna ground. Now, if your left glute's not grounding all the way down, bring a blanket or something. Bring the earth up to meet yourself. I hope you have some nice, delicious, large props, and you can just come down and relax. And whatever way you were facing the last time you relaxed in pigeon, why don't you look the other way so that you can stretch your neck the other way. Check in with your breath. Relax what you can. Know that by relaxing what you can, the rest will follow. Become an observer that accepts and allows every everything that is unfolding. One more exhale. And we'll push ourselves up, bring our knees together. Take that wonderful bolster prop support and come into a child's pose. Sitting your glutes down on your heels and resting. A little gentle low back stretch. Coming to all fours, we're going to protect our shoulders by shining the soft part of the elbow forward, isometrically drawing the arm bones together. I'm putting the weight into the fingers and their knuckles as we begin to lift the toes into down dog, pressing the hips back into down dog, and you can walk your down dog and continue to breathe. Shining the soft part of the elbows forward, drawing the arm bones towards one another, and putting the weight down in the fingers and their knuckles. Begin to walk your hands and feet together, releasing the back of your neck. Let your head hang. Keep your knees bent. Tuck your tailbone. Release your hands. Release the back of your neck. Take your time, rolling it up. One backbone at a time. Chin will stay tucked until the very end. And come into standing mountain pose. If you're feeling really balanced today, just bring your feet about hip bone width apart. Tailbone is rooted in a mountain pose. If you're ever feeling hot flashes or depression, we want to cool down. Bring the feet a little closer together and focus on that inhale, that cool inhale up into the heart. And if you're suffering from anxiety or overactive mind, separate your feet a little bit wider and really focus on the grounding of your body, grounding of the feet, the tailbone, and the warming exhale down. And then everybody come into just a regular balanced mountain pose. And from here we're going to step softly into a forward facing lunge. Now, if you want to do a little extra work, you can isometrically press the block together. In fact, that's a really great idea. I'm also isometrically pressing my inner thighs towards center line and rooting my tailbone. This is activating the pelvic floor. We're going to step back into mountain and arms raise up overhead. So be careful with your knee as we exhale and softly step forward, activating the inner thighs, and feel your pelvic floor naturally engaging. On the inhale, step back into mountain and allow your pelvic floor to relax as your tailbone drops. We're going to move with the exhale, activating the inner thigh and arm muscles. That's going to naturally draw the pelvic floor muscles upward. And then inhale, tailbone down, and relax your pelvic floor muscles. Squeezing the inner thighs and the block together. Feel the pelvic floor lift and relax the pelvic floor. Let's do the other side. Gently stepping the other leg forward on an exhale and inhale, stepping back. So on the exhale, squeezing the inner thighs towards center line and the arm bones. And then on the inhale, relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, squeezing the inner thighs and the arm bones towards center line. Inhale, relax the pelvic floor. One more time. Exhale, supine on the mat with your blocks handy and blankets or pillows that you might have also. All right, you're lying on your side, you've got your props handy so you don't have to get back up off of the mat. We're gonna lie on our side. Do a little more of that pandiculation. I know we wanna keep our waistline nice and trim, and that can be difficult when we start to lose estrogen and our hormones start to change. So what we're gonna do is on the exhale, we're gonna feel the side crunch as we lift the top leg and the top arm and come back down. You can probably use the exhale to come up. Don't focus so much on lifting the limbs. Focus more on the contraction of the center line here, the waistline. And the releasing is important too. So we're exhaling, we're contracting inside center, but the relaxing and letting go is important. And completely relax, because we want to reduce the cortisol. So we're not just engaging to create the muscle contraction to trim down, we're also relaxing to reduce stress hormones that tend to accumulate around the waist. Remember, always relax around your eyes. Always have your upper and lower teeth separated, relaxing your face and mouth. It's a natural way to soften lines and soften the way our faces look as we age gracefully. Soft yoga face, soft yoga eyes. Switch on to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. And remember, I call it wagging the dog. The tail doesn't wag the dog. So you don't ever do your yoga with your arms, legs, head leading the way. You do your yoga and all of your movement from the inside out, the core outward. So you want your dog to wag your tail. So feel the contraction here as the top foot lifts up and the arm lifts up. We don't just want to work and contract. We want to completely relax. So we can exhale, contract, tone and strengthen. But we also need to lengthen, relax, and reduce stress hormones as we soften around the eyes, the mouth. Create that soft yoga face. Nice deep breaths. And when you come down, really relax. We're not waiting to go back up again. We're relaxing and letting go. I am approaching 52 and I am learning that less is more and that my body is always changing and what it's capable of is always changing, and that's okay. That's a good thing. And my mind is changing and emotional maturity is changing, and that's a good thing. So we're contracting from the center, releasing slowly, lengthening, and letting that relaxation, that neutrality integrate into our bodies. Have your blocks, blankets, straps, any props that you can gather ready to go and handy as you come to laying on your back. We're just going to pandiculate the pelvic area. Just kind of moving the pelvic, just like we did in cat-cow. Moving the pelvic area back and forth. When you exhale your sacrum into the mat, you might feel your pelvic floor gently engaging And when you inhale, arching the back, maybe arms overhead, feel your pelvic floor muscles relax. So exhaling, sacrum towards the mat. You might feel your pelvic floor engage. And inhale, relax, and let everything go. And then if you're feeling up to it, the next time you might come all the way up. And here's where you can isometrically squeeze the block between your thighs. If you're familiar with chakras, this is opening up the heart chakra and also primarily the throat chakra. And part of the throat chakra is our voice, our expression, and our true selves. So while you're here, if you can think of any old idea, any negative idea that might be in that head of yours, think about the opposite and speak it. I'll throw a few out there. I'll come up with some of my own, but it's important that you come up with yours. We're gonna activate this throat chakra with our bridge pose and using our voice. So I'll come up with some of mine right now. I am growing wiser and stronger with every day. I am growing wiser and stronger with every day. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I love my body. I appreciate my body. I allow changes to happen gracefully and naturally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. When you're ready, come down, one backbone at a time, release your block, and you can hug one knee in at a time or both knees in together, rocking from side to side. You can do a half happy baby, pulling the outside of the foot downward, and do one side at a time, or you can do both feet at the same time, and allowing the pelvic floor to completely relax. Opening the hips and the low back. Now place your feet flat on the mat. This is actually called constructive rest pose, and it's really important. Just relaxing like this for 15 or 20 minutes a day can really reduce a lot of stress hormones that can pack weight on to our waist. So it is constructive rest. Come into this position at any time. I'm going to put you in a supine bound angle and leave you there. But just remember, come into constructive rest pose at any time. Now for the supine bound angle, you're going to put the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to splay out. But we're not trying to force the body into an intense stretch. So please find your pillows. Pillows would be great. Blocks will work too. But put a pillow or a block underneath your thigh. I think pillows would feel amazing. Blocks are also great. On both sides, you're gonna give yourself support. For me, I don't even feel good with the short height of the block. I just noticed I liked this medium height. Felt much more supportive. Give yourself support. Going into menopause, I know for me, for a lot of women, we can become very stress sensitive. Give yourself support. Now stay here in this bound angle. I'm going to take you through the energy centers as they relate to your hormones and your emotions. If at any time you want to come out into that constructive rest pose, that's your other option. So close your eyes. You might even want to cover up with a blanket, and I'm going to take you through this guided meditation. We're focusing on the root chakra now, beautiful red energy center at the base of your spine. Notice all of the parts of your body that are touching support, touching earth or mat, and feel the heaviness and the weight of your body. As you feel the weight and heaviness of your body melting into the earth, the adrenals begin to relax, giving adrenal glands permission to relax, telling yourself, I'm safe, I'm grounded, I'm safe, and I'm grounded, and all is well. Bringing your attention to the sacral area. That is just a few inches below your belly button or your sacrum in the back body. Beautiful orange light. It's like a beautiful citrus orange, and the older you get, the juicier this orange gets. Say to yourself, the older I get, the juicier I get. And this pertains to estrogen and progesterone production. Beautiful orange healing light throughout the lower abdomen and the lower back. And I'm serious, say to yourself, the older I get, the juicier I get. I go with the flow. I am flexible. I am open. And moving into the belly, the solar plexus, the center of yourself, beautiful yellow sunlight radiating very strong and bright sunlight. This is pertaining to your pancreas, your endocrine system. Saying to yourself, I am strong, I am disciplined, I activate my personal power now. And see yourself activating your personal power in what you put into your body, how you take care of your body, how you take care of your mind, your finances. And saying to yourself, I am strong, I activate my personal power now. And just imagining a beautiful, bright yellow sunlight radiating from your center throughout your body out to the world. And saying to yourself, with each passing day, I become a stronger woman. And then bring your attention to your heart. And that might be pink or green, or pink surrounded by green, this energy center, like a beautiful pink rosebud surrounded by green, healthy leaves. And on the inhale, you might see that rosebud or that lotus flower opening up on the inhale. And let it stay open and releasing on the exhale. So the idea is to keep this heart center, this flower open, always open. Open to joy, open to pain, open to everything, and allowing everything to flow through completely. So on the inhale, the beautiful pink and green flower opens, and on the exhale, everything is released. might say to yourself, I am strong enough to experience all of life. I am strong enough now to experience all emotions and to completely let them pass through. I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. And thank your heart. Thank your heart for all that it does for you. Bring your attention to your throat. The throat energy center is a pale blue, relaxing the jaw, upper and lower teeth never touch. A little smile as the corners of your lips slightly lift, softening around your mouth and inside of your mouth. Thyroid production, endocrine system functioning, healthy, allowing your voice, your expression to be your true self. And you might say to yourself, I am strong enough to express my truth now. I am strong enough to express my true self now. I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. And then as we move into the sixth energy center, the forehead, it's a deep, dark indigo blue. And this is opening up, and just see this beautiful blue indigo flower or this deep blue indigo eye opening up in your forehead, because that is our wisdom center. And that's the gift of going through this change, this transformation, closing your physical eyes and opening these spiritual eyes, the wisdom center in the forehead, the sixth energy center, and just being so grateful that this is one of the great gifts as we transform and move into this stage of our life, this wisdom center opening up, that we can trust this intuition. You might say, I trust myself. I trust myself. I grow in wisdom with each passing day. I release old ideas and old patterns as I come into my own. And then finally, the final energy center that we'll go through is at the very crown of the head, the very top of the head, and that could be purple, white, a mixture of those colors. This is our highest self, or our spiritual self. I always like to say I'm a spiritual being, and I'm just having a human journey, a human experience right now. This is also the center of the pineal gland, the sleeping gland. So as we tap into that spiritual part of ourself, or if you prefer, that part of ourself that has a broader perspective or a higher meaning, but however you express that, tapping into that and observing. It's going to allow us to really relax and have a better sleep. Really relax in life. You might say to yourself, I am a spiritual being on this human journey. I relax knowing that all is well. All is well in this moment. Namaste.